It's so long.
Jordan, get it up to Mike. Yes.
I don't know, I might got her.
I didn't know you had a voice.
Sing so.
Okay. Besides, who's the better singer? We'll start off with questions for Layshia.
Hi, Lane, hi, so lately, because the past was the untrained last weekend and
I'm struggling to hear you.
you played an athlete in Austin, how is it that and
How was my experience in that? And
how did it rank you guys?
got it. Today,
We can't hear or hear.
echoing. I don't do well with background noise. How was my experience at AU? I had a blast playing. I really liked the format. I loved playing with W players, people who play overseas, getting to know a lot of different just folks from different walks of life. I love the autonomy that it gave us as players to like coach and figure out more schemes, although it was stressful at times. It was like, can someone just coach the team? But it did, I think mentally got me really ready for this season, and physically playing 15 games, 3 games a week really prepared my body too. So I had a blast. It was nice to be back on the court, less of the pressure of jumping right into a WNBA training camp when you hadn't played last year. So I got that chance to just like have fun, play, feel good, get confident, get back into the game again.
Did you and the other time you guys are watching W after a little bit of a hiatus from this league, and what's it like coming into this camp as competitive as it is and trying to fight for this roster?
Well, it actually is a way what they do, because every week you're getting drafted and there's something new, and you're used to being able to go against the same people, but still you want to have, you know, good energy with these people. So I know that it's about 16 or 17 of us, and eventually people will start getting cut, but you want to be competitive in practice, but still, you know, enjoy the people that surround you, because it's very important that they focus on having a good locker room. So all the people, you know, all the women here are good people. So, you know, we just focus on that.
For Sparks. Critical, last year we saw Lexi go to AU and just kind of really take off, and that was sort of much impact on her into the W's. How can that be maybe similar tale for you?
Absolutely. With AU, by me being injured last year, I was watching Lexi with another story. I was just watching her blossom, and it translated so well over to AU. So to the W. So I knew that was something I wanted to do. I wanted to model that. It was a great example to see. And it, like you said, it just transferred really well to be home, playing in front of a home crowd, playing in front of coaches and other organizations. It was amazing to see. And she's just flourishing now. She's taking off. So.
All right, then you're know there's not much time to waste on the more franchises kind of going W's to 12. Right. What is the about a particular you want to hear to be part of this?
I'll start. For me, just being around good people. Like, this is my 10th season, and I played for like every ownership model. I played for multiple different coaches. I played with like every type of player. And when you get a certain point in your career where like you just get older, like I'm 32 and I'm like, I don't want to deal with the BS of like not playing with good people and not being around good humans and not having a good culture, because we put so much, I put so much time and energy and sweat and blood and tears and like my life into this game of basketball. And so to show up every day, like I want to enjoy the people around me, and it's so hard. One team wins a championship every year, right? Only one. 2 teams make it to the finals. And so that journey has to be done in an organization. For me, that when I live with my family, my wife and my kids, we're gonna like move and uproot ourselves. Like it has to be the right place and the right fit. And so having played for Coach Miller back in Connecticut. I know him, I know his character, I know he's honest, he has integrity, I know his basketball style. And I know Mecca very well, and I know Karen, Brian from around the industry, and so I'm from Southern California, so for me, all the stars were kind of aligning to be like, this seems like a good place to go put your energy and your heart and your effort into it, because it has to be bigger than basketball. Like, I love the game, but right, it has to mean more than that, because we spend like every day, this is our off day, and we're here spending it with each other, so it just has to be the people for me, and LA was the right thing in that way.
I'll also answer that. I was very intentional about sorting out where I wanted to be, and just seeing again Kurt Miller joining the staff, KB joining the staff. You had Nick already here. I was watching the pieces that they were bringing together, and it's just somewhere I wanted to be. Actually, on the off season, I live in California, and I just wanted to be intentional with where I went next, so I could find a home that was for me and long term. So I set my intentions in my heart on being somewhere with good people, and they were also building something. And I bought into what they were building before I got here. So I was like, please pick me.
Joe Radius, playing for Kurt in the past, do you notice any changes or differences in them, or still the same consistent guy?
He's still very consistent with his attention to detail, with the way he teaches the game, his attention with film, slowing things down. His expectations are very much similar. I would say his demeanor has calmed down a little bit. That's one of the first things I noticed even watching him last year. Like, he's not doing the stomping as much anymore, and the screaming and the yelling, which we're all like, thank God for. And in that way, he's a little, I think, more grounded or an older head coach in this league, where he gets it and he's building really good relationships with players. So I think it's kind of the best of both worlds. Like, he's mellowed out a little bit. We all could agree it was time. But on the back end, he's just gotten better with the details, having gone to the finals multiple times. And he's one of the smartest coaches in this league that I've played for, because he just gets it. He's like a savant in that way.
And for me, he was actually my coach, assistant coach in 2015 at the LA Sparks when I was drafted. He was just an assistant coach that advocated for me. I would hear him on the side of the bench, and he would be like, we need a spark, you know, trying to get me in the game, because he just understood my game. It's not always conventional. It can be unorthodox, so sometimes, you know, it gets the job done, and I felt like he understood that and believed in me.
What's been the general culture in our world? I mean, the general culture, it's been people first. You can't say that enough. Doing it with good people around you, just like having respect for each other. You know, we're not always going to get along, but how we talk to each other matters. How we treat the staff matters. How we have gratitude for each other matters, right? Like, our trainers show up hours early. Thomas, the people who do all the things behind the scenes that you don't get to see every day. It's been very much a like servant leader kind of that, showing up with that posture, and the staff has been very clear. Like, from the day one, it was more of that than even like X's and O's when we had our initial meetings, which is like how we treat each other matters, and that goes a long way, because the basketball is going to be the basketball when it starts with the people. And then my role in that specifically has been easy to fit in. That's kind of how I just already vibe, which is, you know, looking people in the eyes every morning and saying good morning, right? Like, we can get so in our own heads with whatever we have going on. So it's always just trying to say hi to the trainer, give them a high five, like bring some energy and some lightness to everything we do, because you never know what everybody has going on at home every day. But when I get out of my car, like, I kind of put on like this not version of myself, but kind of like, all right, I'm going to this space and I want to pour into the people around me. So I'm going to give that little tidbits, and then it's just been being a leader in that way, and then on the court by talking to people, pointing, clapping, doing all those little things that are just intangible that you can't really coach or teach, but I bring them like every single day.
And just to quickly piggyback off that, just what she said, absolutely, gratitude was the first thing that we talked about, just being present daily. Like she said, it's not necessarily putting on a different hat, but it is just being present, you know, things, no matter what. So I love that, I enjoy that, because even if we're having a bad day, you have so many other people that is there, and they may not know what you're going through, but they're present every day. So that was from day one. KB and Kurt wanted to implement that from day one, and that's just what we've been carrying so far.
Yeah, one last question.
Hey, we're shining a lot as far as how competitive has it been with other players at your position? In particular, other ball handlers, the primary ball handlers, point guards, to be able during this camp.
Yeah, it's been super competitive. It's been really fun. I think this is probably the best point guard camp I've been at when you look across the board of who we have with Lee, Jordan, myself, Jazz, and you even have Zia's ability to play the 1 and the 2. It's really good and it's fun and I like love it and thrive on it. So it's amazing that when we're doing a transition drill, like it's one of the fastest guards in the league in Jordan, Canada coming downhill. So like you can stop her coming downhill, right? You're playing against the best in the league. And that's what you want when you want to be the best. And so I loved it. I love when I get to play with other point guards because they're smart, right? So you're not the only one on the court having to do the processing and the thinking and the stopping the ball. So it's been the best point guard camp I've been in, and it's really fun. It's super competitive, and like I'm smiling so big because like I love it and I enjoy it. We'll move on to questions on Zoom.
Opening up Zoom questions to start us off, Bailey with Fansided.
CB, you talked about being a full circle moment here in LA. You've had quite the journey back here. What's the biggest lesson you've learned along the way, and how is this time different?
Thank you, baby. I would say my biggest lesson is what I just touched on earlier would probably be being present. So many things happen on the day-to-day, and they're supposed to. We can't control everything. But just being present, being positive, and focusing on the things that you can control has been tremendous for me. I've had injuries, I've had things to happen to me that's been unfortunate, but also I've been able to control my narrative and I've gotten in front of it and just showing that I'm a good person. And I love the fact that I'm here at the Sparks training camp because they are focused on good people. And every day showing up present, showing who I am is important to me. So, thank you.
Second and final question, Rico Cabrera.
Yes, good morning, ladies. How are you? Buenos dias. Rico Cabrera, East LA Sports. And just very briefly, I believe Layshia, you've already sized up. The question was, how are you sizing up the experience now as you're in camp and it's going to be very competitive and it's going to be hopefully a chance for you to continue on and play in LA as a Spark. But right now, in this moment, 4 or 5 days into the camp, your thoughts on sizing up where you personally fit into the system?
Oh, yeah, good question. I think I fit in the system in one, first and foremost, in a leadership way. So that's all those tangible things I bring. It's knowing the plays, it's getting people in the right position, it's talking, it's playing with tenacity and intensity, those things that just are, again, they're kind of hard to teach. You kind of either have them and you're that player and you show up and you're like a dog, or you don't. That's very much who I am. So giving that energy and that effort. And then getting into the paint is what I do, like getting 2 feet in the paint, whether it's me scoring or forcing rotations, and then finding your open shooters with Lexi, Carly, with Azre, and that kind of system that we play in, and playing in pick and roll, because that's what I do. I love playing pick and roll. It's very big pick and roll. X's and O's coach, and so I think I'm fitting in really well there. And again, I love the competitiveness. Like I've been approaching it of like, remind me of the NCAA tournament where it's like surviving a band. So every day you're here, like you wake up another day and it's like being present. I'm still here, and so I'm not thinking about the future, thinking about even the cuts. Everybody knows they're going to be there, but it's like every day you wake up, you give like your heart, your effort, your soul, everything you have to this, and then the rest is like it's out of your control. I think if you do those little things, the bigger story in my life has just always worked out for me.
Thank you.
And I'll add on to that. That was a great question. I would say the role that I play here is just being a great passer. Also being able to score, absorbing information. This is probably my 3rd training camp, and it's just different terminology. And I'm excited to learn every day and have things for us after practice that we can just play, where we can watch over our what we did in practice. So things like that is important. And we have so many good players that you don't always have to be the first go-to player. You can be a star next to a star and play your role however it is from 1 through 12 that's on the bench. So I'm excited to see where that goes on versatility, being a 3 and a 4. Just being able to stretch the floor, being a threat on the floor, and being a good teammate is something that comes natural. But there's things that you have to take it up a notch. So this is the greatest league in the world. It's also the toughest league to enter in the world. So again, just being present is so important and not worrying about the outcome, but actually knowing what you bring daily is also important. So.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you.
Good
Okay,
night.
that wraps up our press conferences. Thank you all for joining us on our media day.